XXX, and welcome to the lair of the film XXX. Tonight we will be taking a look at Interspecies reviewers. From elves to succubi to fairies and more, our heroes Stunk, a human, Zell, an elf, and a hermaphrodite angel, Kremvel, are here to rate the red light delights of all manner of monster girls. Now on to my opinion. Well, I can definitely say that this series was worth the watch, especially since it feels like Monster Musume, but way better. So with that, I am really mad at Funimation for taking this show down after all the SJW critics. But then again, I really don't use Funimation due to the problem of having to pay for it, so as long as other websites like Cartoon Crazy and GoGo Anime keeps the series up, I'm completely fine. So who made this delightful raunchy show? It was done by Studio Passion, the same studio that did both Citrus, a Yuri anime that I've been meaning to watch, and the interestingly done High School DxD Born. So yeah, I can definitely see why the show is so sexy and passionate. So yeah, I think you guys definitely see that I am a huge fan of this show, but just in case, let me tell you why. We're gonna start with the main cast, starting with the adventurer and reviewer Stunk. And yes, that is his actual name, not my complete opinion of him. Wow, we've really come so far with naming our characters if we've gone to naming one Stunk. What's next? Shu or Hammer-chan? Come on, guys. Better names. So from what I've seen, he's supposed to be the main point of view because he's your typical perverted human who actually has standards like most of us, especially when it comes to people we date and have sex with. Now, I heavily relate to him because he's willing to try any girl as long as they don't look like somebody's grandma. And I mean, the guy does understand the appeal of sexy little elf girls, despite what everyone else says about them. Next, we have Zell, the elf of the group whose opinion on women is the complete opposite of Stunk and me, because he's in love with this show's residential elderly woman, because she's technically younger than him by a huge margin, and she supposedly has a lot of mana. But let's put Zell's weird obsession off to the side for when I'm dead and focus on the rest of his character. Well, like most elves, he's an amazing archer and he knows a lot about magic to the point that he can use revitalization spells. Next, we have one of the most interesting reviewers on this show, Kremvel or Krim, for short, who is a hermaphrodite angel who starts out so innocent until he's found by Stunk and Zell, who basically corrupt him and turn him into a fallen angel in a way. Now, his tastes are pretty simple. If they're dominant, then he's willing to give them a try, which is why he's so very fond of the magical lotion brothel and Elsa, the show's hyena girl. And yes, you heard me right. She's a hyena and yeah, Krem likes hermaphrodite dick girls. Yeah, you heard me right. Krem is into furries, which I mean, who hasn't envisioned themselves with a tall, dominant woman who just so happens to mostly be an animal? Don't judge me. We also have Maidri, a bird-maid waitress who works for Ale and Eats and really dislikes Stunk, because he constantly makes passes at her, so she's basically this show's Nami. I mean, I will say that I love how many times she is beating the crap out of our main character, because they obviously deserve it. I mean, stop making passes at her. Next, we have the story, which I did say before is pretty raunchy, especially when you do get to go see a lot of the sex scenes, especially if you watch the uncensored version like I did. Now, the show is basically just 5 guys going out having sex with different kinds of monsters, like golems, demons, and minotaurs, just to name a few, which is why I call this Monster Musume XXX. Now, the one thing that did kinda disappoint me was how long we had to wait for the gang to finally screw some demon girls. Cause I mean, yeah, I did love all the other women, but I really wanted to see this show's depiction of demons, cause I've always been fascinated by them, but I will also say that it was definitely worth the wait, despite not really getting to see them do anything, especially when they kinda try to express why a lot of marriages don't work out by explaining it from the point of view of a demon and how they need to be careful with how they word everything in the contract. Now, the show does also show some aspects of adventuring, but they are very few because, again, this show is more about the Succu-girls and not fighting monsters, which, if you think about it, I did ask for this kind of show back in my review of Beaufry, because it definitely does focus on a group of characters fighting. It doesn't focus on a demon lord or fighting said demon lord. Now, if you guys really want to know my favorite girls of the show, I'd have to say they'd be Mimuro, the owl harpy receptionist during the egg-laying episode, because she does look pretty cute and kind of sexy. I mean, yeah, the eye circles are a bit of a turn-off, but dang, I'd do that. And Piltia, the halfling from the gender swap episode, because she's just so adorable. And finally, Tiplet. I hope I said that right. The salamander girl from Volcano BBQ episode, just because she's one of the sexiest girls in the show, just because we literally get to see meat getting cooked on her body, which really greases her up. Now, I'm sure we all know Catastrophe's favorite, the Cat Girls, but I don't even think he's seen this show yet. But let's get back on topic with my favorite episode, which would have to be the third episode, which is the gender swap episode, because I've always been a huge fan of gender swap, especially when it comes to shows like Comfort, Girl Meets Girl, and Adventure Time, which are just a few of the shows that I have seen using this very underrated trope. And I wish more shows would do this. Oh, and if you don't believe me on any of this, then just know even Piccolo joined the show, because he was so tired of all the bull that Goku puts him through. Goku, stop making Piccolo take care of your child. Be a father already, you jerk. So yeah, this show really has a lot to love, especially if you're old enough to watch it. And I will say, please make sure you're at least 16 when you watch this. I don't want to get in trouble with your parents. And I might even say that it's one of my favorite ecchi anime, which is why I'm giving it a 9.8 out of 10 for the amazing characters, the great visuals, and the interesting story. But also, I feel they used Musume a little too much. So I really hope they bring us a second season, because this show definitely has a lot more Succu-girls it could be showing us. So I definitely recommend this to anyone looking for a good ecchi anime, or they loved Monster Musume, or they really are into some pretty sexy girls. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in paradise.